And all right, we are live. Good morning, everybody, or afternoon, or wherever you're watching this. I'm Carl Hansen. I'm the team leader of Cultural Detritus, a team participating in the Easterseals Disability Film Challenge. And this is Nic Novicki. Nic, you want to introduce yourself?
Hello, I am Nic Novicki. I am a little person with a little bit of scruff on my face. I just showered, so my hair is still a little bit of wet, but I showered because I love you guys so much, and I'm so excited on this Sunday morning, 2 days away from the 10th annual Easterseals Disability Film Challenge. And really, for those of you that don't know me, I am the founder and director of the Easterseals Disability Film Challenge. I created this because as a little person actor, I wanted to create opportunities for other people. That's how I got a lot of jobs. And that's ultimately how I was able to advance my career. And over the last 10 years, we've been honored with all these success stories that have come. But today, this session is all about letting people know more about the rules, what's needed to be turned in. Thank you so much for hosting this, Jennifer. I'm so excited too. For anybody else listening, I want to give a huge shout out to Carl Hansen, for being an alumni, for being an amazing guy, and really setting this up. Because as somebody who's taken part in this quite a few times, and for a living, you also work as a producer. A lot of people have been asking you questions, and a lot of people have been asking other people questions. And I know many people really were like, "Hey, let's get one place where we're going through everything." So that's really what this is about. So I'm seeing chats coming in. If you have other questions, we're going to answer those. Everybody should have received an email that was sent yesterday to everybody registered. And that had all the helpful information, a timeline, all of the rules, the forms that are needed to be tuned in. And this is really about going through those and any other questions. I know Carl has some, and he's also received some questions. And he has questions that other teams have received and passed to him, because once we knew we were doing this, we sort of just compiled as many questions as we can. So really, that's what this is about. Carl, thank you so much for doing this, and you want to talk a little bit about yourself, and then maybe we start going through yesterday's email and any questions that you have.
Absolutely, yeah. And thank you so much again for being here, Nic. I know when I called you the other day and I was like, hey, I feel like this might be helpful, not just for me, but for other teams as well. So and just a very quick visual description of me. I'm a Caucasian man with a gray beard, blue glasses. I have my team hat, my Cultural Detritus hat on my head, along with some headphones. And I'm in my little home office here where I'm doing this from. In fact, this is the first live stream I've ever done from this spot. It's still a little work in progress. In fact, I hung that painting. I'm like a weather person. I don't know what side. There's a painting of me that I did at the Blackbird Film Festival last year that has a camera and a light shining out of it like it's projector. So I'm stoked to be here, and thank you so much, Nic. So yeah, I'm the team leader of Cultural Detritus. I've competed in the Easterseals Disability Film Challenge since 2018. We won Best Film in 2018. I won Best Director in 2019. And so I have been doing this challenge for quite a bit of time with a really talented group of people, and have met amazing individuals such as Nic through this competition. But really the purpose of this is to help you guys, any other teams out there, that if you haven't registered yet, you can see the link in the bottom there of our background, disabilityfilmchallenge.com. You can sign up until 27th, right? Until tomorrow, Nic, it's open.
Yeah, so tomorrow you got all day, Monday the 27th. But once that clock strikes midnight, you are not able to register in 2023. So you're going to have to wait a whole new year. So if you haven't registered, please do yourself a favor and register now. I don't think there is anything else like it in terms of creating opportunities for people with disabilities, but also our prize package, including $2,000 grants provided by NBC Universal, Dell Technologies computers, memberships to IMDb Pro, Adobe Creative Cloud, and mentor meetings with Oscar winners Phil Lord, Chris Miller, Emmy winner Ryan O'Connell, and executives from Paramount, Netflix, HBO Max, and so many other opportunities, including screenings at Academy Award qualifying festivals. So all of that is available if you go to disabilityfilmchallenge.com. And something that you pointed out, Carl, and then I think maybe we start with just going through some of the bullets that I sent in the email yesterday. But for those of you that are new to this, you need to register, and many of you already have registered. And when you got an email from me that said, "Hey, here's helpful hints," that means that you are officially registered. You've gone in and you've created your placeholder title in Film Freeway, and there's no project file in there. So now what happens is on Tuesday, March 28th, I will email all registered participants the full assignment. We already announced that this year is romance, and Carl, thank you so much for throwing that fun graphic of romance. But all registered participants will receive the full assignment, including themes, props, and locations to choose from in this 5-day filmmaking competition. So then you will write, direct, shoot, edit, and submit your 1 to 5 minute film, which you can have an extra 1 minute, but that has to include credits. You have to upload that to your Film Freeway account. Now, this is the main thing that I think I'd like to point out, that some people, this will be helpful when we talk about the forms. When I say I'm going to email the full assignment, I will email that full assignment to the entrant representative. That is the same person that is liable for their film. That is the lead producer. By you signing up and registering for the film challenge, you said that you are accepting liability and you are signing up for the challenge. So please, please, everybody, make sure to go into your Film Freeway account and make sure you have your correct contact information. I would say beyond your email, you should put your phone number in. You should put all contact information, because eventually at the end of next weekend, I'm also going to want you to update everything. Give your full cast and crew, the people that have disabilities, a part of your film. I'm going to send emails with all of this in the assignment email. But your Film Freeway account and your project profile is really your main sort of North Star for this project. This is where you're going to go to, and this is where we are going to go to you to find you, and also for future opportunities. So again, if you registered, you are the entrant representative, and you will be the one as the entrant representative that will fill out the 3 forms that will be due. And so when I talk about the 3 forms, if you go to disabilityfilmchallenge.com and you hit the challenge tab, there's a section.
You know what, Nick? I'm gonna try and present that as you talk through it. So so it makes sense here. So okay, I'm gonna bring up the rules.
And I just said a lot here. So if anybody has questions and want me to clarify as I'm going through, because look, I created this 10 years ago. So 10 years ago, again, as Carl's looking for this, that was the vision, the Disability Film Challenge. It has grown year after year. We've had over 500 films. So huge shout out to Easterseals, Southern California, who I partnered with in 2017. But obviously, I know this very well because I've been doing this for a long time. So if anything is confusing, now is the time to ask the questions. To be honest, on Sunday, April 2nd, it is much harder for me to spend time in giving you all those answers because every single filmmaker is asking at the same time. So ask those questions now if there's something you're unfamiliar with. So now if you hit, Carl, if you mind hitting that challenge tab.
Yep. So I'm on the main website right here. You'll see I'm on the Disability Film. This is the home page. You put your mouse over the challenge, and then you go down here, and then
actually, do
register.
you mind staying on that for a second?
Sure.
So while we're on this, because really the website has so much helpful information. So a lot of the questions you're going to ask me are all here on the website. If you want to know how, and we'll spend some time in that rules section because that's where the forms are. But while you hit that challenge tab, you could see how to register, and we'll go step 1 through 6 of everything you're going to need to do for this year's challenge, and how the awareness campaign happens, everything. But if you also go to the challenge tab, you'll be able to see last year's films. You'll be able to see past challenges. So that's going to give you an idea of, on Tuesday, some of those locations to choose from, some of those props that may be included. Just an idea of that, because obviously they're going to change this year. And one thing to note, this is not solely an at-home competition. We did have in the rules, in there, that it must be filmed entirely from home. And the reason why we had that in there was in case of a spike in COVID, that we would have the ability to go back in there. But I want to tell you, and you'll see it in the assignment, there will be, similar to last year, locations to choose from, and the entire film doesn't have to be made there. Separately, you'll be able to learn about mentors, judges, success stories, and about how this started in the About Us section. But if you have questions beyond after, you can hit that FAQ section over here, and that'll give you all kinds of frequently asked questions that you may want to know about. But the main question that I think a lot of people are asking is within this. Let's start there. So this is gonna, that's just formally the FAQ section. It's gonna answer a lot of questions about your upload, about what you need to do, and that'll answer a lot of questions.
It's a really amazing resource. I mean, you obviously spent a lot of time on this, Nic, and everyone who put this together. So I highly encourage everybody, please read through this before reaching out with your questions, because a lot of stuff will be answered in this FAQ section. And again, that's at the top here on the menu bar. There's a FAQ. You click it, and it'll bring this up. Sorry, go ahead, Nic.
But what I want to say too, and I'm going to reiterate this 3, maybe 5, maybe 10 times over the next 20 minutes. You must make sure your correct contact information is in your Film Freeway page. And if you are the entrant representative, this is very exciting. You are the lead producer. If your film wins Best Film, you win. If your film wins Best Awareness Campaign, you win. But at the same time, you are responsible for your team. So please make sure your Film Freeway account has all that information. We're going to request the synopsis, the short description of your film. We're going to request the poster. We're going to request the cast and crew. We're going to want to know what members have disabilities. We're going to want social handles. But the most important thing you're going to need to do is, when you upload your film in Film Freeway on Sunday, you must change the settings to make it downloadable. Because if we can't download your film and our editors are up all night, then guess what? Your film is not going to make it to the next round. So I will send a lot of emails about this, but you, as the entrant representative, make sure you're really going in there and you're working with your editor and your whole team. For me, that's not my skill set. So I like to have other people within my core team, not our team, because it's just really, we're very limited, that goes through and says, look, we got to make sure that when we upload our final film, it's downloadable. Change the settings. Make anyone can download the film. That's very important.
I added a little ticker at the bottom just for reinforcing.
And again, though, if you don't have your correct contact information, and guess what happens? If something happens and your film is not downloadable and we contact you and try to contact you, but there's no phone number, there's no email, guess what happens? There's been times where films didn't advance because we can't get the film. We couldn't download, even though it was legally in, it made it through in time. You got to really make sure you have your contact info, because this is where producers and contact are going to contact you. So it's very important. Double check that your email is spelled correct, your phone number, everything's up to date, because this may be something that gets you a job. And so you want to make sure you have your correct contact information. All right. So beyond the FAQ page, let's go back to that challenge tab if we can, Carl.
Absolutely. And just, I'm getting some questions in the chat here. If you have questions, please put them in the chat. Definitely ask it in the chat. I'll bring it up on the screen and we'll go through them once we run through these little bits here. But yes, please post your comments or questions on the in the chat
Post
there.
those questions, and this may answer some of those questions, because we're going to talk about who the entrant representative is and the forms. So that's where we're going to go right now, into the challenge tab, and into that first tab, read the rules.
All right, give it a second here for my computer to catch up.
Carl, you're an angel here, man. The way you're able to do all this,
No, I'm happy. It's because I think it's the same thing. Like when I first started, like I wish I had this. You know, I think it would be super helpful.
absolutely,
you know, to go through it. But here's this.
Okay, so again,
here.
this is the rules. You want to read all these rules. You want to look through the technical, the length of the film. You want to make sure your film is original. You can't use any music you don't have the rights to. At the very bottom of this email, we have links to music. I'll also email them, but this is where you'll be able to, at the very bottom, and we'll go to that after we look through the actual rules. But the very bottom of this is a very important tab. Challenge, hit the challenge. That first little thing you hover over is read the rules, and this will bring you into where all those forms are. You see on the right-hand side, there's a yellow box. That's where you can get every form. That's where you could read
all the forms.
Yeah, so you could read the rules. That's not needed for us, but that's something you already read and agreed to when you registered through filmfreeway.com. So that's something that hopefully while you clicked, even though you said you read and agreed to all the rules, that you read that again and are familiarize yourself with those rules. So then, as the entrant representative, again, you as the entrant representative are the one that will turn in these 3 forms. You do not need your entire cast and crew to sign and turn in these 3 forms. Only you as the entrant representative will need to sign and send back these forms to us. And again, that's not due until April 2nd. You don't know the name of your film or any of that other stuff. So those 3 forms are due on Sunday, April 2nd. You, as the entrant representative, you can download them here, or they will also be in the assignment email. You will sign them and you will send them back in. Now, you also want to get releases from your cast and crew. They are not due to me. Please do not send me all those release forms right now. We do not need them right now, but you need them, because if your film wins, we will request those release forms after May 4th. And that's stated in the rules. So you want to have that in general, because you may need those release forms for another opportunity. Because again, you own your own film. You, as the entrant representative, has the ownership of this film. So that's very important for you to make sure that you're sending these and follow the steps. We will have how to send the forms. I will say specific information about how to send the forms in the subject letter, the name of your film, dash forms. I spell out exactly how to send it. Do not respond to my email with the forms, because we're not going to be able to find them. So it is mandatory that you follow the instructions. Everything will be laid out on the email that I send out on Tuesday, March 28th. So I would suggest you, as the entrant representative, send this email with all the important info to your participants, so that you're all looking at it and you're all getting a chance to check it out, and you're being a team together. Because look, you're the lead producer, but all producers work in teams. We're like dolphins, we we work together. So,
Carl,
right,
so Nick, sorry, I'm just.
Do we have questions on the forms in particular, or anything else that you?
We do. Yeah. So here's LG. Can I use my own address on the release form of others if they are not comfortable putting their own address, but are willing to put their number and email?
Yes. So the question on release forms for cast and crew, again, this is for you, for them, and them saying, so this is not going to go to us until they end up winning. I would suggest that they put their address and all of their information in a release form, because if you're working on a movie, if you're going to work on a feature film, you're going to work on something SAG-AFTRA, you're going to do anything as an actor or as a crew member, you have to put your information. And on sets in general, they will actually usually, when you're paid, request documentation and proof of all of that. So I would say that you should reiterate that this information or of a release form will not be sent publicly ever. So it is important for you, and this is a release form for you as the entrant representative. And so, you know, we need it for all films that end up winning. We will not need cast and crew release forms, but you should make sure to get everything filled in terms of info. Carl, you're about to say something.
Yeah, just super quick. So going back to the, how do I bring back that release form here? Here we go. So here's this page. So if we click on this contest release form, is this the form that you send to everybody for everybody on the team to fill out? Why is it not coming up here?
So the release form will work. If you have a separate release form you want it as well, that could work for everybody as well. The only thing we need are forms for the 3 entrant representatives. So the entrant representatives need to fill out those 3 forms. If you go back separately, you want some kind of release form for your cast and crew, because if your film wins, we need to see that release form will work as that. But if you have a separate release form as well that you wanted, that's okay too. Again, we just need some kind of documentation that everybody is okay if your film wins. Now, if not, you already gave us permission to take your film by signing up on all of our channels, play in all our festivals, all these other things that are exciting opportunities related to the challenge. But you as the producer, you always want to get release forms because it only helps you. And it protects all cast and crew and everybody working so hard on the film to make sure that, hey, we're all agreeing to do this. So again, the forms that are going to be needed to filled out and sent to us, the contest release form, the entry agreement form, and the certification statement. Those are the 3 forms that you will email following as the entrant representative and send to us. Separately, if you have SAG-AFTRA talent, and only if you have SAG-AFTRA talent, you will fill out those forms and send them directly to SAG-AFTRA following the SAG-AFTRA contact information and the steps that they request. So if you do not have SAG-AFTRA talent, you do not need to worry about that.
And something to note is, as the entrant, as the team leader, you yourself have to do that. Is it the agreement or employment contract? I'm going to just quickly look here. The employment contract is what is given to, these are what's given to your actors. These are the ones that are filled out. You maybe want to pre-populate some of this, you know, of the stuff that you know, such as production date and producer, which is your name, but everything else gets filled out by the performer. And then there's an area down here to sign. Again, we don't have to get into the weeds on this one, but then when you look at the SAG-AFTRA agreement, and again, this is only for SAG. If you're using SAG-AFTRA people, this is what you fill out. There's like a lot of detail in here. And I believe they're due, if not the day after, like within the next few days of when you finish the film, because you need to know.
You will email, and again, you will not email me. I have nothing to do with this. This will go directly to the SAG-AFTRA contact that I send to you. They also have safety requirements, including pre-COVID testing, and they may request tests. So those are SAG-AFTRA requirements. And they are unbelievable. SAG-AFTRA has been supportive of the Film Challenge for 10 years, and they make it so you do not need to pay any fees. If you look at the very bottom, it may be confusing. Both those SAG-AFTRA forms say all kinds of language about how you need to turn in a script and you need to, pay people this and that. At the very bottom of both of the SAG-AFTRA agreements, that the entrant representative will fill out an email, not the actor. The entrant representative will be the one that sends this. You will be able to do all of this without paying anybody. Only deferred payment. Only deferred payment. So you will pay nothing. But if your film ends up being sold, then you will contact the same SAG-AFTRA person, and it's a win-win. That actor receives some kind of payment. You receive payment. You got a big sale. Good for you. Good for everybody. But for the purposes of this, they have been unbelievable, and no payment is due. So again, make sure you're looking all the way at the bottom where it says waivers, and you'll notice all those elements that have been changed for the challenge.
Yeah, and again,
Carl,
only if you're using SAG-AFTRA.
Only if you're using
Yes.
SAG-AFTRA account. So if you have no actors that are SAG-AFTRA, don't worry about that. Do not contact SAG-AFTRA. Don't fill out the forms. If you have one actor, that's the one you're doing this for, but you still need to do the same process.
And then just to reiterate,
no forms are due before April 2nd. Nothing. There's no forms due. April 2nd is the first day that we request the forms. And you will see, again, you and all your team members will see this laid out, with all the information about all that, where you send stuff to, what the forms are, and, everything. But Carl, then I maybe cut you off there. What'd you say?
No, just want to make sure that because we're obviously time is tight and we want to kind of get through as many of these questions as possible. This one, how do we go about this? From Joseph Ewing, how do we go about signing the participation agreement, and how should that be turned in?
So the participation agreement, I'm not sure what the participation agreement is. So these are the three forms.
entry agreement.
Okay.
As I'm looking here. So
I'll
click on this and show
my
it.
eyesight is very bad. So
Okay.
So again, these three forms, whoever the entrant representative is, will be able to download from our website, and they'll also be in the email. You will sign these and you will scan them and email them all together in one email, following the labels that I put that go directly to subject line, name of your film, entry forms, and I'll label exactly what to say in that email.
Yeah, so definitely follow the emails, guys. I know there's a lot of information in those, but Nic spends a lot of time on it because the whole reason is that we don't have to walk through it all the time. And of course, this will be a good resource because this will be recorded and posted. You guys can always check it. But definitely read those emails. There's so much great information in there and necessary information.
And I will send you quite a few follow-up emails. Another form in here separately, which I'm not even getting into this yet, is the awareness campaign. So all of these films, the reason why we're whether you're doing your captions or you're giving it to us, we download every film from Inside Film Freeway. We put them on our YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram channels. And the awareness campaign happens April 8th to April 17th, where you're trying to get as many likes, views, and shares. Eventually, you will fill out this promotional campaign report. That will separately be outlined in an email that I send. And I will send a lot of follow-up emails, and it will all make sense. And again, we're all in this together. So don't ever feel like, oh, I'm in a panic. I'm always here for you. But mind you, I'm one person. So we just want to make sure that, let's not everyone ask questions on Sunday night, April 2nd, because that may not be the best time.
And make sure you're reading ahead of time, guys. That's like I've done film competitions a while, and like I even sometimes forget some of those rules. So make sure you know the rules. All right. Make sure you know what the rules are and what you can and can't do. Okay, we have one other question here from LG. I'm attempting to source my own music from musicians I know. Do I use the same content release form for music that I'm getting permission to use, or do I need additional or different documentation?
I would use, really any documentation. I'm not a lawyer again, though. So whatever you feel is an ironclad agreement that you have the rights to this music. Now, if this is your friend, he's a musician who's getting started, That kind of agreement is a little easier to get and a little bit lighter. Now, if it's a universal, if it's a musician with who's you hear on the radio, there's a lot of steps to get that permission. You cannot get a simple little paragraph agreement because there's a lot of other artists that are also recorded on that. So again, you want to be very careful with that. Again, you as the producer, this is you getting that, and not just for this, but for other film festivals, for other things. They're going to request, do you have permission to use this music? So you want to make sure that you really have that permission. We have music, and there's also, other opportunities to get music as well.
Yeah, and sort of in relation to that, Cameron here is asking, and nice to see you, Cameron. When you say if the film sells, does the language pertain to just the short film selling, or does it also pertain to the film being optioned for feature development? I'm assuming, again, not being lawyers, it's probably whatever documentation is best for you for something like that.
Yeah, I would say exactly. I would deter to your interpretation of that. This is really for us. Outside of that, outside of this, if you're, creating something else, that becomes a bigger conversation of legal and ownership. And that may be something that you and an attorney would, talk about. But ultimately, if this sells, this short film, the owner of it is the entrant representative. That is the person that signed up for the purposes of this film. Now, if it turns into something else, that's a bigger conversation with all creative parties.
And then kind of similar to that, Scott Matthew. Hey, Scott. I know about the rule of not using trademark logos. However, I'm using a Dolby noise reduction program called DDI Codec. I'm wondering if I have to mention it in the credits or I don't have to. I would say check the documentation of the software if that would be, say, a requirement. Typically, it isn't, especially on smaller projects. But I would say look at that specific software, because from a contest perspective, Nick, you can respond from that perspective.
Yeah, I mean, typically for noise reduction, for filters, things that are used to improve the quality, software is not needed. You don't need to say this was edited on Final, Cut or written on Final Draft. Unless, as Carl said, I don't know, if you purchase something that states that says that you need to mention it per the rules within this, that's a question for you and the product that you own, not me. That wouldn't be something mandated by the challenge. Now, if it said the name, that would be a question. If it said Nike, that's a logo. That's trademark infringement. You can't, you want to avoid all of these other areas. Even if you do have the rights to it, it is very hard to prove that. Even a lot of times, you say, oh, it's fair use. This is public domain. Is it? I don't know. I'm not the lawyer. I'm not the one reviewing that. But again, why take that risk? So when you can avoid it.
Yeah,
when in
absolutely.
Doubt, don't show a logo.
Yeah, keep it simple. Keep it simple, as they always say. All right, so just I guess to hammer it home, Penny Wilson, hi Penny, says, so I registered on Film Freeway and paid. That's all I have to do until April 2nd, right?
Hey Penny, so you're registered and you've done everything for now. Now you don't have the assignment. The assignment comes at 11 a.m. on Tuesday, March 28th. I will email you everything, not just the genre, which is romance, but themes, props that need to be included, and locations that need to be included inside your film. And then you will make your 1 to 5 minute film. And at the end of April 2nd at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, I'm not sure what other area code, wherever you are in Europe and Asia, you will make sure that your film is downloadable inside Film Freeway. Make sure your film is downloadable. Check the settings. Check the settings. I don't know how many times you'll see me continue to email this. You'll see how many update emails that say update your profile. But I guarantee you there will be a person and a team that just was so excited, and they maybe got tired and forgot to check the settings and forgot to update things in their Film Freeway account. Make sure to do it. And guess what? If you don't have your contact information in there, how will we be able to contact you? So update your Film Freeway account. Again, nobody contacts you without exciting news. No one's just randomly, we're letting you know updates, important info, and job opportunities. So make sure your film is downloadable and update your settings, your cast, your crew, all those things. You're going to see emails about that. But keep it in your mind, the settings. Make sure it's downloadable.
Make sure it's downloadable. And yeah, it's very exciting to get one of those emails and get that contact, when Nick or whoever reaches out about it. So absolutely make sure that information is on there, and make sure your film is downloadable. If we can't hammer those two things enough, and I'll keep the ticker on. Make the film downloadable. Keep the film downloadable. All right, and I think we have gotten, okay, Emily has a couple of questions here.
Okay.
Hi, Emily. 2 questions. Do you need to do all of the locations that are in the challenge? And 2,
Nope.
looking at Film Freeway, what does the project visibility have to be? So project visibility, I think, has to be public. Is that right, Nick?
So I would say, yes, I would make it public when you're, I'm not on the back end, so I don't see the actual buttons, but I think you just want to make sure that anyone can download it. And again, no one's going to be able to download it. No one's going in to download it except for us. And you're not publicizing this film until April 8th, because that's when it's live. And we are actually gonna, for everybody that we do these captions, we'll send an email within the next 2 days, hopefully a day later. Once we get the captions professionally done, I'm going to show you those captions, and you will have a very short window to make, hey, this word is spelled wrong, or this name is spelled wrong, and we'll try. We have a very limited team, so again, try to help us, try to work with us, try to follow the instructions, and be understanding. We're all in this together, and we're so passionate about your work, but we have a limited team. So the more that you can read the rules and the emails and follow everything, the more it'll make sense. I forgot what the other question was aside from the visibility.
Do you need to do all of the locations that are in the challenge and the requirements?
No. So you will not need to use all props that are given, only some of them. You will not need to use all the locations. But so, wherever you could film at another location that you have, but you have to have, some of your film in one of our locations. It's the same with our themes. We're going to give you different options of themes. They don't need to be all themes. They could be one theme within the genre.
Awesome. That seems to be the last of the questions. Just a quick thanks, Nick, from Cameron. We got Megan, the deaf scientist. I love seeing you both, and you were so informative and helpful. Thank you so much, Megan. Also one of my collaborators.
Absolutely.
Penny says, got it. Thank you. I think that seems to be all the actual questions that we've received during this. Are there any sort of last thoughts? Obviously, we've gone a little bit over time here with you, Nick, but anything else you really kind of want to hammer home? Anything else on the website that we want to talk about?
One, I want you guys to, I think it's helpful for you to go into the website, disabilityfilmchallenge.com, and hit that challenge tab. Look through the rules, read the rules again, know the dates, that mark in the calendar, all those things on there. When the finalist announcement is, when the award ceremony is, all of this stuff we're going to live stream too. So all the information, but read the rules, read the email that I send with the helpful hints, read all of this stuff, and make sure you really spend some time and get your team together and say, hey, look, guys, we're going to need a synopsis. We're going to need to create a synopsis. We're going to need the cast and crew information. We're going to need a poster or image of our film. We're going to need all of these things. And you as the producer, you should think of yourself as, how can I bring as many people together to help me make this film as good as it can be and in the best position for the judges who are viewing your, Film Freeway profiles to be able to see everybody involved with the film, that they're reading a great synopsis. Somebody else may be helping you spell check this, all these different things. So try to work with your team on everything. Do a pre-production meeting. Say these are all the things that are going to be needed on the end of day, April 2nd. Your editor, don't count on your editor to do everything. Think of yourself as, let's have a buddy check on not just your editor, not just the producer, everybody. Have we gone into our Film Freeway account and have we checked the settings and have we made sure it's downloadable? And, I just want to say this. A lot of times, people are asking me to review stuff. And again, at the deadline, hey, can you check that this is right or that's right? That is not my job. I hate to say it that way. I'm here for you if you are having trouble, but I'm one person dealing with a lot of people and I can't be everywhere at the same time at the deadline. So make sure your team is all together and you're reviewing things together. So again, this is teamwork and this is collaboration. And this is people like Carl and other teammates. They will also be able to answer questions. And I'm here to ask questions, to help you. But if you're sending me 10 to 15 messages, think if we had 95 films last year. So just think of the math. If you send 10 to 15 questions and times 95 and everybody at the same time, is that, it's so we gotta, I try to be as helpful as we can, and we have people that help me, but help yourself and make sure your team is really with you. Because again, this is all about putting yourself in a position, because once you're done with your Film Freeway profile, you can use this for all other film festivals, and all other opportunities. So you're building out really your marketing deck for film festivals as well. And there'll be other opportunities. But I just want to say, bottom line, have fun. That's what this is about. Don't stress out. We're all in. This is a good time. It's fun. At the end of the day, you're going to have a film, and we are improving disability inclusion. So I want to just say from the bottom of my heart how much I appreciate all of you. And I'm just so proud, so excited. This has come so much further. When I created the Disability Film Challenge 10 years ago, I never thought it would get this big. And it's because of you and your talent, and because of the support and the collaborativeness of all of this. And Carl, putting this together with all other individuals that you've worked with on this and other team members, I can't thank you enough. Again, there's people that know technical sides, and they may be able to answer questions. Cameron Mitchell, he's a professional DP that's in the chat here and knows camera work. There's other people, Carl, that knows how to produce. Talk online too. Hey, I got a question about settings or something for editing. People will help you. So put it out there. But again, make sure you have a buddy system for your Film Freeway account, for your film in general, and read through everything. Read through these emails.
Yeah, and something that I will say too that's helpful and that's helped me too, even when I'm on set, right? It's like at any point during the competition, I've even printed out these rules, right? And I almost use it as like a check mark, right? It's like I have a pen and I'm like, okay, have I done this? Yes. Have I done this? Yes. Do I need to tell this person this? I'll make a note, right? Just whatever way. I mean, if you don't use paper, do it, on your phone or whatever. But there are ways to keep track of that, and that is a big part of producing, right? And that's something that not only is good for you to learn, but is also vital because it's required, right? It's like you need to be able to do these things. And Nic, there are a couple other questions, but one other thing I just want to quickly bring up here is before the finished film begins, the file must include a title card which can be downloaded here, which is on this the rules and regulations thing. It's the Easterseals Disability Film Challenge title card that goes in front of every single film. So I just wanted to make sure that that was clear. You can download it on this site.
Absolutely.
So,
and that'll be in the email that goes out on Tuesday, and you're going to see a lot of update emails from me. So read those emails. Some of them may be a little repetitive, but you would be surprised how many questions I get, and I will answer and say, please see below. And it literally states exactly what the question is, which I understand, sometimes. And hey, I'm the same person. I have learning disabilities as well as being a little person. And so sometimes it's hard for me. But I try to really think ahead and make this inclusive as possible. So please, the emails are all because I'm trying to help and give everyone, more info, but make sure to read those. If there are other questions, I can stay for a few minutes, but I know we want to also wrap this soon.
Cool. Okay, so we have a question here from Garrett Lees. Hi, Garrett. How broad or narrow are the themes? How loosely or strictly should think about interpreting them as we make our films?
So that's really a question maybe more for Carl. Whatever you do is up to you as a filmmaker, though. I can't give you creative input onto those roles, and I'm not a judge. I will tell you that there are themes to choose from. There's different interpretations of every assignment every year and how people think of a theme and how people think of a genre. So, Carl, I don't know if you have input up there.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's being as creative as possible, right? And being able to still fit within the requirements that you're given. So whatever the theme is, make sure that you are addressing that theme. The genre, right? Romance could be all sorts of things. There have been action adventure romances. There have been space romances. There are all sorts of different ways. You could do a horror romance. Like there's all different kinds of ways you can do it, but do it creatively and do it to the best of your ability, right? I mean, it's like you only have a certain amount of time to pull this off. So try not to do too much, you wouldn't be able to take all of that on. You want to try and, again, keep it as simple as possible and use this as your, what I like to call the filmmaker gym. Go into the filmmaker gym, right? You get the opportunity and the experience to make something that, as Nic was saying, can then go off and be at other film festivals. A number of our films and a number of the Film Challenge participant films over the years have gone on to much, different worldwide film festivals that you may not even be thinking about at this point, but just know that there are opportunities like that exist. That Film Freeway is an amazing place where you can find all of those. And you can talk to a number of the previous Film Challenge participants, including myself, about that. That's something that absolutely is doable for you guys.
And we've had people screen at 100 film festivals, get brought in and hired for multiple years on a TV show. So whether you're named as a finalist or a winner, you are going to be stunned at the opportunities that are going to come up. We do professional development all year round, and you're all alumni. You'll be getting emails about this. And please pass this along to other people with disabilities that could be a good fit as well. Because really, all of you are the entrant representatives. So you're responsible for your team, and share this stuff. Share these opportunities, but you'll be surprised at how many opportunities come to you and your team from this. So is there another question?
This is more just about this particular presentation. Will this presentation be visible after the live? 100%. Hopefully my chats have been going through, but it'll be posted on the link where you are currently watching this. It'll be posted there. The link that was sent out in Nic's email, you can share that. It's also on my personal Facebook page, and I think I have it going to LinkedIn as well. So you will absolutely be able to find this. Okay, we did get one final question in quickly here from Lori Raisin. Lori asked, can it be like a one-woman comedy? I will answer that. Absolutely, it can be. There's no restriction on what this film has to be in terms of number of people involved. Participant Scott Matthew, who's on my team this year, and I think is also making another one as well. When he did the 48-hour film project, which is another film competition, he was a one-person team. So you have a phone in your pocket, maybe, like people have studios now with their phones and their computers. I would say have at it. Make the best possible thing you can do with the resources available to you. But I will also say collaborating for me is probably one of the best parts of this whole project and this whole competition. I've met amazing collaborators through this competition and through other things that I get to work with them on these creative ideas. So if it's one person, great. If it's 50 people, great. Just make the best possible film you can. That would be my advice.
And have fun. At the end of the day, again, look, you will have a completed film, and you should feel so proud of the fact that you have a film done, and we're all wanting to do this. This is our passion. We want to be actors, writers, directors. You're doing it through the challenge. So at the end of the day, no matter what, you're going to advance your career by getting experience, by having a fun time. But we also are going to have executives and all kinds of other elements that are going to see stuff. And there may be other opportunities, including we've had one, we had Marley Tonkinson, who's on Broadway right now. She's legally blind, amazing actor, director. She did a one woman film that was nominated as a finalist that she directed, wrote, acted. It was, I believe, all just her with either a phone or something. So whatever you have, at the end of the day, it's about the story. It's about how did you, what did you do with the assignment? And again, we have an amazing team of judges, and they're all going to see these, and they just love and please, when all these films go live, guys, support them. Throw comments on these films back and forth if you can. If you can watch each other's films, engage with each other through our social channels, and it's only going to help you by putting yourself out there and making other people feel good too. At the end of the day, we're all doing this because we want more disability inclusion and to further our careers. So you're going to end up hiring each other possibly more than a network or studio is, so just have fun and trust the process, like they say in Philly.
Well, and really, and lean into that community, right? As Nic is just saying, commenting on films, watching each other's films. It's all about the community. Again, finding those collaborators, finding those people. And there are people I've met at the award show, for the Disability Film Challenge that have now were in my film the following year. They've made their own the previous year. And, so there's all sorts of different ways that you can work with each other. And also outside of the competition as well, as what Nic was mentioning. So I think that's it. It looks like we've gotten through all the questions. The one thing I do want to mention, and I should have done this right at the top, for anyone who is blind or low vision, Google Chrome does have, for anyone who's deaf or hard of hearing, there is Google Chrome has a captioning, auto captioning ability, because I don't know how long it takes for YouTube or Facebook to do that. It should be available after this, but I'm not 100% sure. But Google Chrome should be able to do that for purpose of this, because we weren't able to get an ASL interpreter for this particular session. So I just wanted to mention that. But Nic, go ahead.
Well, I want to say too that all of our films for the challenge will be professionally captioned. And so if you wanted to do that on your own, and because of comedy purposes, that's up to you or whatever for timing. But we will, so your film again, work with us and respond right away when we say, hey, is this right? Or we'll send you those links, and as much as we can. And we do year-round workshops, seminars, and networking opportunities. So again, this is just the start. If you're new to the challenge, you're going to hear from us. You're going to get together. You're going to get invited to stuff. I'm so proud to be part of this community and all of your work. And the awareness campaign is also a promotional campaign on the website. Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, so just making sure that's clear.
And if you go in, there's I'll send in an email on Tuesday later in the day. I'll give you a couple hours to process the assignment, but then I will send the other assignment, which is the awareness campaign, and that'll have a toolkit and elements for you to help share. But try to think of as many schools, resources. Get the word out. Hey, I'm doing this. I'm a person with a disability. What is your local story? What is your school story? What is your national story? What is your story to tell yourself? Because again, that's going to further not just the film challenge or this film project. That's going to further your career and disability inclusion. So tell your story. Think about it. How do I get this film out there? How do I, contact everybody in your family, your friends, your school, and tell them about what you're doing? And we're going to give you all kinds of tools to help you tell your story. Every time I feel like I'm wrapping up, I keep going. And that's, I'm a comedian. I go for 6 hours. Carl's like, I'm cutting it off a half hour. I go, look, we're doing an hour and a half. I'm sorry.
I had a feeling we go over a little bit, but thank you so much, Nic. Thank you for taking the time today to do this. For everybody who joined us live, to ask those questions. Really, really appreciate that. And again, if you have more questions, you know, this will be posted. Feel free to post a question under the video, and the community again can chime in and help in regards to that. It isn't just Nic and the Disability Film Challenge that can answer the 10 to 15 questions that are already listed in the rules and regulations too.
No. And I say that,
Kidding.
look, you know, I'm very responsive. So if you do need, you're unclear, or I can help, I'm here for you. But, you know, within reason too.
Yeah, but the community is here as well. So that I just want to reiterate that as well. So so thank you so much. Thank you everybody for joining today. Enjoy the rest of your days or evenings wherever you are in the world, and can't wait to see all your films.
Woo!
Take care, everybody. Have a good one.